Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Are you?
Yeah, I was just thinking somebody, you know how I say kiddo all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody was like, can you stop saying kiddo? It's so annoying. So now
You're still carrying that, eh?
yeah,
Do you want me to respond to that comment online?
no.
Huh. It's like we talked about it when it came up. People lack the threat of consequence. And so they create a part of their personality or their hobby is just being mean to people because they don't ever have to be accountable to that. And I would say if that's the worst thing that you're hearing in your comments online, you're doing okay,
I suppose so.
right? Because there's a lot worse out there. But at the same time, just ignore them. You're never going to make them happy.
Oh, no, I know. But it is like, because then I'm like, well, it isn't. I guess maybe I don't come across very professional sometimes, but you know what? It's part of who I am. It's part of it's affectionate. It makes me more like on the level with kids. I'm not some stuffy psychologist who's like this adolescent, blah, 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 blah. Right? It's endearing. And even my young adults, I'll say kiddo. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like it's just,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's kind of cute or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting what people complain about though.
But that's the thing. People need to complain to feel like they have a voice.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's these psychologists who are like, F this and F that, and go have a effing good day. And I'm like, how unprofessional is that?
But to them, they're like, oh my God, they're so relatable because I don't like my kids and I like to drink wine, right? Like it's stuff like that. Like you're never going to make everybody happy. So at the end of the day, if you're seeing the results with the people that matter in your interactions, then don't worry about the rest of them. They're all trash.
Anywho, your face isn't deformed today.
Okay. Well, that's thank you. But you didn't have to say it like that. So for context, I had a root canal earlier in the week and woke up the next day with a considerable amount of issues going on. So I've been on antibiotics ever since.
Does it feel better?
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's good.
A little tender, but not like the other day where I could touch it like an inch from where it was supposed to be. Now it's kind of, it's all good.
Well, your beard covers it up.
Thank God. Yeah. Another reason that this beard's never going away. It hides facial deformities. And it was weird because I was like talking on the side of my mouth for a while because I didn't feel like I could really open my mouth. So yeah, good times. Good times.
I hope I never have to do a root canal.
They are unpleasant.
Yeah.
They're unpleasant. Yeah. And and the one thing I will say, because the day after when I was in a lot of pain and I said to you, am I a bigger, baby as I get older? Because I had one when I was younger and I think I had it and went to work and I didn't even blink. But I'm like, this feels really bad. Like I'm in a lot of pain and maybe I'm just getting softer as I get older. Well, the only bright light out of the situation is when I went to see him and he's like, ooh, yeah, this isn't good. I'm like, so is that why it's really painful? He's like, oh, yeah. It shouldn't have been that painful. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Not a big baby, but it was still unpleasant.
Not good. So what are we going to chat about today, sir?
Well, I think we've talked about this on and off, you and I think we've touched on it before, but I got to figure out how to form it as a question. But how do we as parents, let me take a step back. Since we've become parents, I think the goal or what we saw the goal as being for our kids has dramatically changed in that the speed at which things are changing for the future is incredibly rapid, right? Like, and I mean this in the sense of you and I have talked about, are our kids going to be able to afford houses? How are they going to afford university? How are they going to afford to live, right? We ourselves are noticing, and I've talked to a lot of friends that are noticing how hard it's been lately, right? Like we're very lucky that we both have good jobs, and we've got a house and all these things, and we do have additional things, right? Um, but as parents, I think we've come to the realization lately that we what we've told our kids, or what we've been told in the past to us when we grew up and we were going to have kids, I don't know that it's going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So how do we prepare our kids for a future that we never foresaw and is dramatically different from what we thought we were going to have to prepare them for? And I mean that in the sense of, do your school, go to university, get a good job, buy a house, have a family. A lot of that stuff is at the rate we're going, and this makes us sound alarmist or stuff, but I think it's a real question to have. I don't think a lot of that stuff is going to happen for a lot of kids anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So as parents, how do we deal with that? And what should we be preparing our kids for?
Yeah. Because, well, it goes to a previous conversation that we've had around how I think I was listening to like a financial advisor or something who was young, right? And he was talking about like these millennials and Gen Zs who, well, even just the millennials, work hard, go to university. I mentioned this on the last podcast episode where it was just the two of us. And then you'll be fine, right? Get a university degree, you'll be fine. But then he was talking about, well, all of these people, and this is more in the States, but I'm sure it's true elsewhere too, but all these people are going to university and getting a master's degree. But now they've got so much debt, hundreds of thousands, or at least 100,000, dollars debt, working 3 jobs and a basic, studio apartment, not even a 1-bedroom, trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And they just can't do it. I read somewhere else too, this was a while ago, that a lot of the younger generations actually just don't agree with capitalism. Like we might actually see a shift in capitalism just because, and even Maya has been talking more about socialism and like, why can't we be more like Switzerland? Or, like it's just because we had gone to a university open house a while ago, and she was so overwhelmed. She was so overwhelmed. I think I mentioned that before too, but part of it was, how am I going to afford this? What am I getting into? And is it even worth it? Is part of it. Yeah, it's tricky. So I've forgotten the question. Oh, how do we prepare them?
Yeah, we're nailing this.
But it's true. Like, it's like, what do we do? Because it's not that easy. Do these things, get a house, you'll be set, right?
Well, you look at North America or the States, right? Everybody always compares it to the States, but Canada is always a tag along in that context. But out of World War II, right, the prosperity that came out of it, right, and the ability for a single parent to have one job, nothing more than a high school education, and buy a house and a car and a vacation every year and take care of their kids and send their kids off to university so they could have a better life. That eroded inside of 3 generations. It is gone, right? And so, and it's funny because you and I are polar opposites of the education piece of it, right? I had the opportunity to go. It didn't take. So, but I've done okay, right? I'm okay in that context, but at the same time,
you make more than me.
I do okay.
Salary. Yeah.
I do okay, but at the same time, that comes with restrictions, right? Like, who I'm working with and who I work for and how I'm treated. That's what I give up. You simply just have to work 23 hours a day and be stressed all the time, but you're your own boss. But so she sees both sides of it, right? She sees both sides, and you and I are both not hardcore. You have to,
no,
right? We're not, because we both see merit and kind of disadvantages to either way, right? But I think for me, my take on it is, I'm more concerned about them. Like, the one thing I always say about you is your job is recession proof, right? Unfortunately, as a psychologist, there's always a need for people to be supported. So you're always going to be able to work. How that works in the context of the clinic or you as a whatever, doesn't matter. You're always going to be a necessary service.
Until AI takes over, but yes.
Do you really think that'd happen?
It's starting.
AI psychology.
There is, yeah.
Oh, that's some Skynet BS right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Terminators start coming back.
I don't think it actually will, because there's a whole, just the connection piece, and that, like, it's just.
Well, you got to think, how many people are coming to you because they lack a real tangible human connection?
Totally.
Right. That's interesting. That's a completely different podcast but anyways, to me, what I've started to try and do with the girls, and I know it's not landing, but I keep saying it, is you got to look at how you're going to earn a living outside of a 9 to 5, right? You have to look at ways to be creative that give you the ability to earn and have a life. Otherwise, you're going to be 3 jobs, scraping by, not making money, right? But it comes, the point of that is, I think it comes to, you're the blueprint in whatever context of how they should look at it, because they need to find a job that is necessary, is consistent, and that they can then control how it's applied and how they earn from it, right? That would be my one big thing. But
and I think, I was going to say something about fascism in there.
Wow.
But, well, I think we're seeing that more and more,
100%.
like, especially in the United States.
In
like,
Italy.
It's just, Italy too.
Oh, yeah, Italy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other piece, because I know that, I mean, I often talk about too, like, just shifting. I mean, the social comparison, it always comes back to social media. Man, how do we keep coming back to this? But there is, and it's not even just social media, but when we went to that university, Maya saw so many grade 10s and 11s. She's in grade 12 now. She's like, why am I just coming now? And the other reason she got overwhelmed, she's like, all of these people are coming here and they've got questions. I have no idea what to ask.
Yeah.
Right. Even one of her friends showed up and he had a huge list of questions that he was going to ask 3 of the different prospect universities. And she's like, so I'm like, well, go ask him what he's going to ask. Right. Like, but she was just so overwhelmed with all of that. And I think part of it, a lot of these grade 10s, grade 11s, people, grade 12s who are coming prepared, it probably is this buy-in to university. I haven't really shared that view either. And I think just subconsciously, we haven't really talked about this openly, but I think it's important for parents to really think about what reality is and what is university going to do. So the story that I've been talking about, especially to Maya, and I drop little seeds, but on average, the people who are most successful and happy in their career don't actually know what they want to do with their life until, on average, 45 years old.
It's my wheelhouse.
I know.
That's
I know.
wheelhouse.
I know. And so more and more, we're seeing research that there's this belief, I got to go from high school to university into my career right away. And that was one of my questions when I was talking to the administration. I'm like, does she have to declare a major? Right. And they're like, well, if she's going into psychology, yeah, you declare the minute I'm like, she's 16 years old. Right. And so the research shows having that gap year or years between
to figure it out.
Don't enroll, don't major in anything. Your first couple of years, explore. It should all be options. It should be general studies, just to try lots of different things. I did that. Yeah, I did that.
I'm the king of general studies.
I did declare psychology as my major, but I only did the bare minimum. That wasn't where I thought I was going to go. I thought I was going to switch, but I tried anthropology. I did ballet. I've never done dance class in my life. And I did university ballet. That's some
American Idol, I can sing type vibes right there.
That was terrible, but I did everything. But even anthropology, I thought I was going to be an anthropologist. But
dude, I took multiple courses in Greek mythology.
That's cool.
And it blew the kids' minds that I'm like, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. And they just stared at me like, how do you know that? I'm like, the only courses I actually went to were Greek mythology. Yeah. And it served no other purpose than this.
I actually did that as well. My French teacher was very upset with me. But anyways, all this to say, like, and it took me 17 years. I never said, I'm going to be a psychologist. Yes, I did go into psychology because I was interested, in it, but I never, like, even when I was graduating, people were asking me about grad school. I'm like, I'm never going to why would I go to grad
What a
school?
waste
That's
of
the
money.
stupidest thing in the universe. And then PhD, why would I do that? That's the stupidest thing. Well, see,
Well, Professor Captain Doctor here is telling you about her journey.
Yeah, but it took me 17 years to get there. And Maya's like, no, I just got to go. And she sees it. She sees already these younger students than her preparing. All of her friends have already got like either know exactly where they're going or have already been offered positions, a lot of them because of sports scholarships and things like that, right? She hasn't even applied. She doesn't even know how to apply. She's like overwhelmed. She won't even open up the website yet. So that's the message I've been saying is you don't need to jump into it, but she sees everybody else doing that, right? And I think there is that meta narrative, the social discourse of you've got to know this is your year, right? Like you got to.
Well, and let's be honest here. Let's call it what it is. Post-secondary education is no longer a social program. It is a capitalist invention or venture. These universities have built the narrative around getting students to buy their product.
Yeah.
Right. And I know if Mikey's listening to this, he's going to call me a bleeding heart again, but the education system is a business. It is a racket. It is designed to produce one of two things. It is designed to produce button pushers, or is it designed to produce people that are going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars getting an advanced education to manage the button pushers. I get it. I sound nuts, but break it down. Why else would a grade 10 be so stressed about where they're going to university unless they've been indoctrinated with the fact that they have to?
Right.
Why do you have to? Well, because this institution is just like the empty office building in a lot of cities. It's there. People have an investment in that. They are losing money with it being empty, no different than post-secondary. The only way, and the worst part of it is, post-secondary to a lot of people is no longer a leg up. It is a starting baseline.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of these menial entry-level jobs that require a full undergrad or in some cases graduate degree to earn $60K a year if you're lucky, right? So I think what you're like using Maya as the context, because we can't obviously know everybody's situation. I 100% think this kid is built to take some time and figure out what she wants to do. The trick for us is we got to make sure that she doesn't have to be defending that decision to the friends that have been told that the path they need to be is right into university, right?
And I'm okay. Like, I think she is going, but that's her choice. We are not pushing, but I'm also planting those seeds of you don't need to have it figured out.
Yeah. Go experiment, go travel, go do something, right? Like, I 100% agree. Now, that I don't think solves the bigger issue of what else, right? Then what? Yeah, right? Like, really all we're doing is we're offering her a chance to figure out where she can hide away from the big, bad, scary world for 4 years. And we're cool with that, right? Like, you're right. She's 16. I'm closer to 50, right? And I still don't have life figured out. And that's this is a sub question. Do you think that and I'll just speak about me, do I lack some inherent ability that every other human has where they can just simply turn off their own thought process and just go through life? Because I see these people that did what we're talking about and are doing a job that I would think I would stab myself in the ear with a pencil if I had to be there. But they seem completely content, right? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just a failing, or is it just a rewiring, or?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a side rant.
For me, I think I feel the same thing, but it's probably my neurodivergence. Maybe. So maybe you're neurodivergent too.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think, like, I wonder, and it's tricky because I don't have an answer, obviously. Like, I think it's just, but creating multiverses or, multiple different endings, because it's changed. I mean, our parents, my dad and mom, essentially, really, like, they retired in the same career that they started in, right? They had, once they retired, they had little side gig things. But then, gosh, they were retired, Andy, within 10 years of where we are now. And it's just, we are so far away from that point. But that was that narrative. Point A, point B.
Yeah.
For us,
keep your head down, do your work. The company will take care of you. You retire.
Yeah. But I think we got to say what are points A through Z, right? And maybe it is communal living. I don't know. But I think exploring all of these things, Willow and I have talked about, we're living together. We'll have our own part of the house, right? For her, she's going to be multi-billionaire and she's going to have wings, and we're allowed to go and stay on one floor of her wing.
And I'm still hurt that I'm not part of this long-term plan. You guys have just planned it without me.
Yeah. And Maya and I have talked about living together, like when she's 80, because I'm living to 115. So
yeah, fair enough. I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, you probably will be. So we'll just be two like little old ladies living together. But that's a thing. We know people who they moved to Victoria, very expensive, with our friends who've got two kids, similar age as our girls, who bought a house in Victoria, and they pooled their money with one of their moms. And who's got the basement suite. Beautiful, right?
The place is amazing, yeah.
Like we're going back to multi-generational living, right? Which a lot of cultures do, or even Jamaica. I remember going with the one family to their house, and it was like 3 or 4 generations all living on this one plot of land. They all had their little separate buildings, but they were tiny, really just to sleep, because they had communal bathroom, communal kitchen, like elsewhere, but they had their sleeping quarters sort of, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we need to.
I think to me, the key is there's no way for us to predict how it's going to go, right? Like, at any point in time, the monkeys could rise up and kill us all, and we're back to square one.
Or AI take over. But it could be different for different people, too.
Well, and that's what I mean, right? So I think, to me...
Because for us, we're looking at moving to a completely different culture, completely different...
Everything. Yeah, we're looking at a complete reset button. But I think it's still the same conversation. I think it's still the same approach. And you've kind of touched on it, which is, I want the girls to not feel burdened by a single focus. I want the girls, however, to be aware of a single goal, which is them to be comfortable and happy. I can't define what that looks like for them, right? But I can only try and teach them ways that they might get there and let them choose the best option, right? Because I think that's the thing. If for some people, that linear path is it. That's what's going to give them the comfort and the security that they need. And that's fine. That's great. I don't think our kids are built like that. I think our kids are built much more, I want to try this, I want to do this, and I want to do this. And that's cool. The goal, however, needs to be, what do you want to have at the end of this? Or what do you want to work towards? And if they're like, I don't ever need to buy a house, I'm cool renting or living with some, cool. So what does that mean for the rest of your life? Right? What are you trying to build with the rest of your life? I'm trying to build a life of experiences. Cool. Let's, that's the conversation to have, as opposed to, like you've touched on, you're grade 12 now, right? How many people have we talked about? And this always still drives me nuts when someone's like, well, I had to do it. What are they complaining about? Why do they got to do it? I'm like, dude, if you're saying it like that, it wasn't the right choice for you, because you're obviously too bitter to realize that maybe your goal shouldn't be trying to make your kids suffer as much or more than you, or people suffer as much or more than you. It's maybe you should be trying to make it so that someone else is able to enjoy it, right? But people aren't wired like that. And that, to me, is, I think, what we need to get to, right?
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah. There's something else I was going to say in there. Oh, man. I can't remember.
Wait for it.
There's something else. But maybe it's just having the conversation with kids and just to open up their mind that there can be. So it's not knowing what that is going to be. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Just about when you said rent. It's ridiculous how much rent is. I did look. Like, for a 1-bedroom apartment is more than what we pay for this mortgage for our whole house. It's unbelievable.
More than what we pay for our mortgage, plus the utilities to run the house.
Yeah, like
it's insane.
And food, like, oh man, I don't even know how people do it. We're barely making it. And I don't know how people do it.
Yeah.
Things are
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But anyways, all this to say, I think it is just a matter of having those conversations. It doesn't even matter how old your kids are, right? Like,
No.
what could life look like? I would argue your point about happy. I don't think we should make that a goal, but I'm not going to get into that. We can do that another time. But
fair enough. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like that's kind of a crappy goal, but you know what I mean, though, right? In terms of, just contentment in a form of how you're moving forward.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, and yeah, I do think like the resilience and comfortable in your own skin, in the life that you've built.
Yeah.
We've talked about the train tracks, right? So being on that, are you on the right track?
Yeah.
And that's okay if you're not right now. So what are you going to do? We're always working for right now. And maybe we'll come back to that track.
Yeah.
Maybe right now that's not the right track, but we got to shift and move over. So
the biggest thing that I like when I see someone, I'm not an envious person, but when I see someone that I envy, it's typically a person that is completely unencumbered with other people's opinions, right? Like they live their life and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do this today. And I'm like, how do you operate like that? Like, that's incredible, right? Those are the people to me. And I'm sure some of them are faking it and they're super stressed and whatever else. But every so often you meet one person that is truly free of the shackles of other people's expectations and societal expectations. And they're just kind of, to say it like the kids would say, they're just kind of vibing. They're just kind of doing their thing, right? And that to me is a goal, right? To get to a point where I wake up every day and I go to sleep every day and I don't really care about the stuff that's going on around me unless it's something I want to partake in, right? That's the lesson I want the girls to have, which is we see it. Going back, this is the social media, right? The university conversation, the expectations that are out there. That to me is where I think we need to focus, is that all of that stuff is noise, right? All of that stuff is designed to decide for you on a path. Our job is to say that's not necessarily the only path, right? It is one. And if that's the one you choose for whatever reasons make you happy, great. Otherwise, go be a baker, right? Go, start an Etsy shop and macrame coasters. I don't care, right? If it's where you're supposed to be, but to your point, at some point, take a quick stock. And is it still where you want to be? And if not, switch to the path you need to be on, right? And that path will vary based on where you're at in your life, right?
And try and fail. I think that's important too. I want you to try. And if you fail, hey, we are here. Cool. We are still your support base, right? Like it doesn't matter just because you turn 18.
Yeah.
I mean, Maya won't until her second year of university, really, essentially, but we'll still be that base for you. So there's no fear of jumping off and trying to spread their wings, right? I think it's the pressure of, oh my gosh, I got to leave and I got to be on my own and I got to,
Well, and part of the issue is Maya is surrounded by girls older than her, kids older than her, right? And so
some are already turning 18.
Totally.
She's still 16.
She's 16. So think of that. That's some Doogie Howser stuff right there. Her going to university at 16. That's crazy. Right. Because I mean, she'll be 17, but you know what I mean though, right? But yeah, I agree. I think it's
I think the only other thing is we can ask our kids if they do think I must do this and they're locked into this, is how did you come to believe that?
Yeah.
I think that could be helpful. And we got to look, was it us?
Yeah.
And if that's your thing for your kids, well, maybe that ties in with our episode from before, just about the stress that our kids
are. Yeah. What kind of environment have you created and what core values are you focused on? And are they the right ones? Because you're right.
Kids' values need to be theirs, not yours.
Yeah. We want to instill in them the values that we think are important. But at the end of the day, we can't control it to that degree, right? I agree. Yeah, I think it comes down more to, that's a really good point, right? How did you get to there? And is your desire to pursue that genuine, right? And genuine doesn't mean permanent either, right? That's that to me, to my earlier point, that's more about what it is. There's a permanence that I see in how people go through their lives that I don't possess, right? I'm shiny object, right? Like it's like, this seems really cool. Today I'm going to learn about. But I see these people that just kind of every day they're up and they do their thing and they do it well and they have a good life and whatever. And it's like, man, how do you do that? Right. But
it's the adulting.
It is. We're not good at it.
We're not good at that.
Yeah.
At all.
Should get a t-shirt that says that.
Yeah. I think again, there's so many different areas that we could go into, but
This could be a whole.
well,
page
even
of
just like,
conversation.
actually, I'm going to go ask Maya what she thinks a successful life for herself is going to look like. And
I don't know.
open
I don't
the
care.
discussion.
Here, I'll save you the trip downstairs. I don't know. I don't care.
I know
don't
she
care.
hates my questions. Well, maybe for our date night, that's what I'm going to ask her.
You're gonna lay that on her.
Maybe I'll tell her before, this is the question I'm going to ask you for date
I'm only
night.
gonna ask you one
So-
question this week. And this is it.
And I need you to think about it. Yeah. But
And
then
that's
we
the
can
other-
build from there.
And we do still need to uphold. I wasn't kidding when I said we need to outlaw I don't care as a response.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most aggravating response in the world.
She knows it. She knows she can't say, but Willow still has
I
to
told
practice
Willow. I told Willow. Now, Willow was a far more strong-willed girl. She'll do it just to push my buttons. I know.
it. All righty. Good day.
Cool beans.